Hello, this is CrossFit Ammo's Member in the Spotlight. We're here with Leah Greenfield, one of our head coaches. Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a coach at Ammo, and I love to do CrossFit. I'm from West Texas. Grew up playing sports. Grew up competing with my brother all the time. That's about it. I just eat, sleep, CrossFit. That's Leah.
Awesome. That's Leah. We're done.
And I eat broccoli, so that's about it.
Where did you grow up in West Texas?
Seminole. So like right in between Lubbock and Midland.
Is that a big city?
No, there's like 3 stoplights. Oh, my mom just texted me. There's 4 stoplights.
4
in Seminole now,
stoplights.
so it's getting pretty big.
Awesome.
But no, it was a small 3A school.
So you played multiple sports?
I played volleyball my freshman year, and then I decided I wasn't about that life. So then I played basketball all 4 years, and I ran track all 4 years. And I ran cross country, but only because my coach made me.
Awesome. What was your favorite?
Basketball for sure. But I knew I could have more opportunity in track later on after high school. So, but basketball is my absolute favorite for sure.
Awesome. So did you play in college, anything?
I ran track in college for 1 semester, and then I decided that I was kind of tired of track, so then I wasn't.
So did you exercise or work out? What was your normal life?
The funny thing is, in high school, during weights, I would be like, Coach, I don't want man arms. Can I go shoot? And so he was like, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to lift. Like threes.
Okay, gotcha.
So I went and like shot while everyone was lifting because I didn't want man arms.
Okay.
And then same thing in track. I was like, Coach, can I go do hurdle drills? Because I don't want to get man arms because I think it'll slow me down. So like I was terrified of man arms in high school. And then in track, in college, obviously you can't be like, hey, can I do this? You had to do it. So that's whenever I started falling in love with like lifting and working out. And that's actually when I changed my major to fitness, because at first I was a chemistry major. And I took chemistry. I was like, okay, I'm not about
chemistry,
that. Fitness. I was like, listen.
Hey, you can go into fitness.
Yeah. With
chemistry.
I wasn't smart enough.
That's a different kind of fitness, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So when did you get involved, and when were you introduced to CrossFit?
So I've been CrossFitting for 3 years, and then like in track, while I was doing the circuit training, one of my friends started CrossFit and was like, hey, I think you should do this. It's like circuit training kind of. I was like, all right, I'll try, whatever. And so I started it, and I was like, oh man, I love this. And then I joined a box in Abilene, where I went to college. And then I was doing CrossFit for about a year there, I think, maybe half a year. And then I moved up here, and then that's kind of where I started.
Awesome. So fast forward, I guess, to when you moved to Allen. How did you get involved with Ammo? Tell us about your first experience there, meeting the owners, and all that.
So my dad knows Lee and Dan. So they were talking, Dan and my dad were talking about, Dan is Aaron and Lee's dad. They were talking about CrossFit. My dad was like, oh, Leah's like obsessed with CrossFit. And so we were here visiting my grandparents, and I had to work out. So I came up here, and the first day I like told Aaron, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And Aaron was like, oh man, this girl does not know how to CrossFit. But I had been CrossFitting, but I was just nervous because it was in the box. So we were like power cleaning or something, and I did like 135 or something, and they're like, oh my gosh, why were you so nervous? And I was just like terrified, and they thought that I didn't know what to do.
But you didn't know, you'd lifted before, but you didn't really know, I guess, your potential or capacity or anything.
So we were like maxing out, and then that happened.
Now you moved here to go to grad school.
Yes,
right?
so I always wanted to live in Dallas, and my grandparents live in Wiley, and so I applied to DVU, got in, and I didn't really have a place to live, so my grandparents were like, you can stay with us till you get your feet under you. So I was living in Wiley, and so I just came here. I was like, well, this is easy. Like I've been here before. And so that's whenever I started coming here, and I became a member and started being a little more serious about it.
Yeah. So what made you want to become a coach and get certified and everything?
Well, with my major, I'd always wanted to be a coach. I didn't think, like, in the end, I wanted to be a CrossFit coach. Like, in the end, whenever I was older. I didn't think it would happen instantly. I just thought that I would be, like, strength and conditioning coach, something like that. And so then I just started coming here, and I'd already applied to get my level 1 before I even moved here. I just had to wait because there was a waiting list. So I came here in January, and I think my L1 was in March, something like that. So I was waiting to do that. And so then just being around here, I was like, this is awesome. And Aaron and Lee were like, well, you're getting your L1, you can shadow if you want just to kind of see what it's about. And instantly, I just fell in love with coaching and the.
So did you like coaching at the beginning? Did you like? I mean, obviously, you were from the beginning a great athlete with capacity, but it takes a different kind of person to want to coach also. Did you like coaching at the beginning? Did you like it?
Yeah, I think at first I was like kind of terrified because I told you earlier I got a D in public speaking, so I was like scared to talk to anybody. Even though I'm outgoing, so I could talk to people, but I was terrified.
Sure.
So I could tell, and I remember back in the day I was like so timid and kind of nervous. But then after that, I just fell in love with it, especially knowing what I know now with like the movements, not only for me as an athlete, but to help other people better their lives. That was the goal anyways. I wanted to make people better every day, and that's what I was doing and doing now. So yeah, cool. I loved it at first.
So tell me about competing. When did you know that you wanted to, I guess there's a difference in wanting to compete and wanting to compete. When did you decide, I guess both, when did you decide you wanted to compete a little bit, see where you're at? But when did you really decide I wanted to focus and you wanted to make a legitimate run at some big goals?
Well, I mean, I've always been a competitor, so like obviously I wanted to compete. My very first like month of CrossFit, I entered in a competition. Whenever I went to regionals last year to watch, that's kind of when the idea started popping in. I was like, you know what? Well, during that open, I was like, I want to go to regionals, but I didn't have a muscle up.
So this was a year ago.
But I didn't have a ring muscle up.
You wanted to go to regionals, but there was like one, maybe two movements that are pretty
and
much
even
the only
then,
things that
like
held you out of it.
I did pretty well in the open, but I could have done better. But I didn't have a muscle up, so was I really that serious because I didn't work on it? So during regionals, I was pretty motivated, and so I was like, all right, Lee, like I want to get better, and so he started helping me a little more. And then after the games, like the CrossFit games, that motivated me. I was like, all right, I'm all in. And so like I told Lee, I was like, I really want to go far. Like I want to make it to regionals this year. What is it gonna take? He's like, all right, this is what you need to do. So he like wrote me all this programming for my weaknesses. Started working on all my weaknesses, and then I started doing them every single day. Even whenever I didn't want to do it, I still did it. And then I got I dialed in my nutrition in September. So I started sacrificing a lot more because I wanted it that much more, and then thank God it paid off.
So you've put in a lot of work this past year. You talked about Lee Irons programming for you and kind of coaching you. You talked about changing your diet. I guess do you feel like the work's paid off? I mean, obviously you still, like every athlete, there's always things you can improve on. But are you pretty happy with the results you've gotten this past year?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. All I wanted this year was regionals, and I got it, and I'm so happy. Like obviously, I'm not gonna just stop now.
Sure.
But I am really happy.
Goal number one.
It's checked off. But also like next year, I'm thinking next year now. Well, I'm thinking regionals, but next year, like I want to be even better.
Continue to climb the ladder.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm really happy with that, and I started thinking, all this sacrifice better not be for nothing. So I better be killing it.
Yeah. So let's walk through maybe a typical week in the life of Leah, and it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing. Just like, how many times a week do you coach? How many times a week do you work out? Do you do 2 days, 3 days? Do you run? What are some things? Just a typical week in a nutshell.
Well, I coach every day. Monday and Saturday I coach in the morning, and it just kind of depends. Usually I'm up here all the time anyways. If I'm not coaching, I'm up here. I'll work out. I do 2 days, at least 3 days a week, depending on kind of the load, where I'm at with regionals. The open, I started dialing back a little bit just to kind of keep me fresher for Friday Night Lights. More fresher.
I get what you mean.
Whatever. So I would do like at least 2 days, 3 times a week. Running, Thursdays I would do the cardio days that the groups do. And that's kind of more of my active recovery because I'm on 6 days, and then I'll rest on Sundays. So Thursday's like my active recovery.
So you work out Monday through Saturday, and your rest days Sunday.
Yeah.
The majority of the time. How many hours a night do you sleep?
I try for 8, but whenever I get 5 a.m., I can't make myself go to sleep before 10. So I get 6 hours.
I have to get early mornings, and it's just
it's no sleep. But if I get mornings, usually I take a nap. But yesterday I did not take a nap.
So you're a little sleepy.
Today I might not take a nap. I'm trying to be a grown up, so.
Okay. So in a real quick snippet, what would you say for, and this would be the last question, just advice for maybe one, somebody who's thinking about CrossFit and starting CrossFit, why would they? But two, somebody who is just what I would call maybe somebody like me, just your average CrossFitter, to get them to the next level. What would you suggest, or what would you safely prescribe?
Even like those that haven't started CrossFit and they want to start CrossFit. I mean, starting out, I didn't think, oh, I'm going to start CrossFit because I want to go to regionals. I was like, I want to start CrossFit because I want to be in shape. And I grew up in the fitness industry. Like, fitness is so good for you to maintain longevity of your life, keeps you happy. So I would say CrossFit, go for it. It'll change your life, keep you healthy. The community here is awesome. It's just like a whole nother family. This is my family. So with that, like, you kind of get family and fitness all right in the same box. And then like someone that is CrossFitting but they want to take it to the next level, it takes sacrifice, and it sucks sometimes when your friends are out, they're eating pizza and you can't eat pizza. You can eat pizza but you choose not to. It takes sacrifice, but in the end, whenever you reach that goal, it's so worth it. Like I don't regret a single decision I made since I started getting serious with it. So I mean, sacrifice and just persistence, because some days you'll have days where it's like, I don't want to go, or some days, like the other day I didn't hit my max and I was pissed. And I was like, you know what, like this is what makes you better. So you have to suffer through the struggle, and then the reward is that much greater because you're sacrificing for it and you want it, so you have to go get it.
Cool. Well, we look forward to seeing what you do in regionals this year and training them this coming year.
Thank you.
All right, this is CrossFit Ammo, Member in the Spotlight.
Peace out.